Okay. I will call to order the Michigan City Tree Board regular meeting Wednesday, May 1st. Roll call, please.
Connie Anderson here. Bart Ginther here. Bill Ginther.
Here.
Laura Henderson here. Laura Koch.
Present.
Johnny Stinley absent. And Mick Wolf.
I'm also present.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Everybody get a chance to look over the minutes from April.
I move for approval.
I second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
The minutes for April have been approved. Okay, we have the Secretary's Treasurer's Report, and that's ending April 30th, 2019.
Move for approval.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
The Secretary Report ending April 30th. Claims for May. That is Debbie Wilson, Secretarial Services, $200. Board members' compensation for attendance.
Motion approved.
Second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
The claims for May have been approved. Communications. Okay. Debbie, I'm assuming this is communications? Okay. Everybody received or had a chance to look over this email that was sent by Mr. Lawrence Zimmer, lives in Shoreland Hills. He did look at it. A couple of things from the president's seat here. That area is under the domain of IDOT. It's not Michigan City. So obviously NIPSCO worked out a plan with the State Highway Department. So, I did read through it and standards. There are standards that Aspen uses when they do line clearing, around line clearing. This is a major circuit that runs through here. There's probably several circuits up there. They have the right by federal law to clear this kind of cutting back. These are nice trees. They appear to be oak trees. They were, but they weren't topped. Topping looks terrible. They were directionally pruned back for safety in the wires there. In my opinion, for what I have seen through the years, the job is not bad. I mean, it will fill out. It will go through a rapid, there will be a lot of sucker growth on it, and that will actually fill it out. But from the aesthetics, from the street view, it's better to have the greenery there, from the ground up, at least 30 feet. It's going to be nice looking. I mean, they could tear it out and put a bunch of small trees in, but these are nice trees, and they will slowly heal. And I've seen them where they've made almost perfect circles around the wires, and it actually looks kind of creative. I mean, it's not creative now, but
is it going to be in our lifetime, Nick?
it's not going to be.
Maybe it's not.
I'm a little concerned about this.
But there's you look at down the street there on 20, and there's not another tree out in that on both sides of the street. So,
well, they planted a row of trees that were going to be way too big for where they put them.
That was my question. Why? Yeah. Who decides?
Was this Marquette Mall?
That was probably Marquette Mall back in the
And
day.
this was really long time ago with how old they are already.
Yeah.
So and I've heard that there is the old Marquette Mall. That development there is in play. So who knows what's going to happen over there? I'm happy to reach out to Lawrence and tell him, kind of, we do appreciate him
Yeah.
airing his opinions, but, the situation that has it, there's nothing we can really do about as the tree board. I mean, when Adam was here, they were working down Pine Street and, in several areas. Well, they just took the trees down all the way.
Yeah.
But they were well within their right. They're going to plant. There was a 2-for-1 offer still pending. I probably should. NIPSCO, when they make that, they know that they're going to be. It wouldn't be hard to hold them to it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're stepping up with all these trees and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, you can't really, as much as it does pain us. The trees that they did cut down were nothing wild and exciting. I think, and we knew this coming in over the years. 20 years ago when I started, it was a lot worse out there. We're taming it down. We're bringing cost within bearable means. We're holding contractors, we're holding businesses, accountable for stuff. We just got the people on 12 over there with that huge fine. If they paid, I don't think they paid it yet, but I mean, that for Michigan City, that's set a precedence. I mean, bringing us to the table for that new ordinance, and bringing us in for the trees and stuff like that. I think it's leaps and bounds where it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or when we first started this board. So,
I thought that at least they brought awareness of a tree board. I think there's probably people in our city that doesn't even realize there is a tree board, or that you have to be responsible for, for trees or for planting or not planting or that sort of thing. So that I felt was a good thing, whereby he acknowledged the fact that there's a tree board that they can come to.
I just see some of these people that got the email, that were on the city common council here, when we went to that workshop and everything like that. Oh, yeah, they gave us the Miss America wave and then they blew us off.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do, If Larry watches this here, we stepped up and, it's not like we're getting paid to do this job here. We're out using our knowledge and our experience to better help the city. So,
What's the potential for burying the power lines?
I have been to a class. Something like this is impossible.
It's expensive.
It's an expensive proposition. Like, we just had all this rain and water and everything like this, and some of the low-lying areas, they call it a ground fault. If there's a ground fault, because water will have the fault in it, it is impossible to find it. They would have to dig like they dig water pipes to find it. Okay? I mean, in some areas they can, where it's virgin ground and they can do it, they do it now. But we're a very mature city and neighborhoods and stuff like that. You can't do it. It would destroy more than it's worth, because they would cut tree roots. It's got to be done in a new development when there's nothing there, but that's when nothing is there. I mean, we have very forested areas, and it would destroy them. So, unfortunately, we have to deal with stringing and long wires. It's just how it is.
What can stop this, though, is what we were working on, Laura. It can help giving guidance in the proper plantings to, the tree lawns and things like that. And I don't know if we'll talk later, I don't know if that's going to be halted any longer because of the new changeover with the forester, because we were trying to get approval with that. But that's where it's at, is we're here to educate and make sure that people are installing the correct trees, and anything that's coming in the future, that it's the correct trees, that won't be an issue.
Right.
You know, smaller
Surely
plantings
this
are
was
appropriate
planted
plantings.
by a
Yeah.
contractor,
Right.
and the contractors need to know better.
Be aware of that as well. So that's kind of a part of why they were putting that into action and trying to have that put together.
But these were probably planted in the
Oh my
60s.
gosh, so long ago. They're so mature.
So, you know, and
Yes, yeah.
10 years,
Yeah.
20 years, they didn't have to worry about power. And they had already been topped and chewed up. I mean, I can see old cuts in the photos here. You know, they just redid them.
Mick, you mentioned if there might be something in motion with the Marquette Mall. And if that's the case, though, anything that we're putting out there now has to be taken in mind when they're doing new plantings. But who's to say that they're going to make any adjustments to those existing ones? So it's not top of the priority, I'm sure.
You know, they're good trees. They can handle
Healthy
it.
still.
They are going to grow, and it's going to be greenery along there. And it's the only little bit of greenery from 421 down to, looks like going south,
Yeah, down to Ohio Street.
you know, at least. There's nothing on the other side, so. You know,
It's got some as a bakery. We got trees there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, do they think?
I mean, you're lucky the trucks aren't running into them and they got bark ripped off of them. You know? So, all right.
Okay.
That's my view on my experience. All right. Any other communications? Okay, nothing else, Debbie? All right, we'll move on down Laura. Committee reports. That's the outreach. Myself, Laura Culp, and Laura Henderson. Education and gardening and landscaping, public relations, calendar events, and Arbor Day. I think our biggest thing is Arbor Day, since it's going to be this Saturday for us. I guess, do we have any count on what we have for trees? I guess we have all kinds.
I've had surprise deliveries at Beachside Garden Center. And I'm like, what is this? It's like bouquets coming, you know. And they're sweet little baby trees for giveaway. So we did get 20 bur oak, 20 red oak, 20 swamp white oak, and 20 red bud, which forever we've been trying to get red bud. So that's really exciting for the last several years. So we do have those for a giveaway. I talked with Andrea at NIPSCO, and I did confirm with her that she has several hundred evergreens as well. So she's got spruce and pine. I don't know exactly what kind, but those were of mention. Several hundred of those to give away, which those are a big one when we are doing the giveaway. A lot of people really like those as well. So we will be adding to our oaks officially again this year in city, which is great. I did also, right before I left today, get a delivery of the 3-gallon trees. So they are in stock. It's official. And so Saturday, whoever did sign up in special order for the pickup of the 3-gallon trees can come to the farmer's market. Look for the NIPSCO and the tree board tables. We will have 2 to 3 tables set up all alongside each other. And your names will be there, and then we will make sure and distribute those for pickup for anybody who did do a special order. And I had talked to Andrea last week, and she was like, oh gosh, a lot of people, we still have a lot of trees. Well, but I had several people come into the garden center. They just weren't sure how to sign up, and so we helped them sign up and do it. And by that time, though, we had shared some things on Facebook and things like that, and there were only maybe 10 of this left, and and
So they're going.
They're going, which is really exciting. So I don't know what the final count is on that. And I know there's a cutoff, but I'm sure that you can contact NIPSCO for anything further. But I thought that by the time that this week ended, though, it was pretty successful, because the last time we went on, it was dwindling. The varieties available and the numbers left available. And there were some really awesome varieties that were listed on there, like really unique things. So I thought that was really exciting, and just want to really thank NIPSCO again for those donations. And we did get the city donations as well that had come in for those, the oak and the redbud that I had mentioned. So that'll be exciting that we will have those for giveaway at the farmers market this upcoming Saturday.
Now, also, Pat Boy, I think, was going to give some trees to Johnny Stinley also.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the 2020, the 80 that were there that I mentioned, the name on them said, Adam Garza, so I don't know.
Adam
If
Ward
those-
reached out to Cargill or something like that.
Yeah. So,
And he got him through there somehow or another on some type of a grant.
so if we
I don't
let
think he even
additional
knew
go,
that.
I don't know where they're at. So what's
So we don't. It seemed like we have a lot of different varieties. So
it's
Turned out
exciting.
pretty good.
I know. So that's great.
I think my press releases got out on the 25th and the 26th.
Perfect.
So that might be why people started.
I had people come in to Beachside, they're like, is this where we're going to get them? And I had to, it's in there, and I had to explain. But they did do the ordering and everything, and it was really great. So we were really, really excited. So that's really fun to see. And we did do the press release, like you said, and I think I have it here for anybody who didn't see it go out. Would you like to read it, Laura?
My voice is crummy.
Is it?
And they took out my favorite paragraph anyway.
Oh, how rude. No, I'm just kidding. No, well,
Space it.
in summary, it talked about the website that you can go to in regards to ordering your trees, and any trees that are not picked up at the farmers market on May 4th can be picked up at Beachside Garden Center on Sunday, May 5th. Anything that is not picked up on that day, though, they will be donated however the board see fit, the president see fit, and so try and get those on Saturday at the farmers market, or try to get them at Beachside on Sunday if you did a special order, and if your name is on that list. Otherwise, we will find good homes for them for sure. And we did, Laura did note in here, Laura Henderson, trees do benefit, they provide benefits, which we often take for granted. They provide us with shade in the heat of summer and reduce our air conditioning costs. They act as carbon sink, decreasing our greenhouse gases. They help to clean our air and produce oxygen for us to breathe. They soothe our souls. They provide homes and sustenance for birds and other wildlife, and they moderate strong winds and heavy rains. Maintaining a healthy and safe urban forest is the goal of the tree board and the city forester.
And that was cut. That was not.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well written. So there, it's officially out. Yeah, very well written.
I'm going to...
Thank you for doing that.
These two, which I just took off of our website, and there's two others which I'll probably print up, so we'll have something to give out.
Oh, great.
NIPSCO usually brings a bunch of stuff too. So
Yeah.
bring what you want.
Yes, that's great, and they'll do a
More
mystic.
the merrier.
And then I'll have the signs, and I'll have the things like we did last year. Oh, does anybody have newspaper?
I have some.
Okay, and we can do that. And I have some bags I'll bring.
Nobody gets the news dispatch anymore.
Yeah,
I
try to conserve. Trying to
I'm
conserve.
saving my papers for somebody to do packing because
That was just icing on the cake, anyways. So, but I'll have bags and stuff like that for those as well, as much as I can. So that's exciting.
All right, what time are we going to meet at the farmers market on Saturday?
Well, last time we took off running, I will have the crew bring over the trees. I think I'm going to try and see if I can have them bring them over at 7:30, because by 8:30 people were already coming up. And I don't know that we'll have to set up tables, or if tables will be available. Sometimes they'll give the tables, sometimes they won't. So just in case I've got tables for backup, I'll find out if I need to bring them, and I'll throw them in my truck. And if you wanted to bring any chairs or anything like that, you'll just want to bring it, whoever decides to join us with that. But I think it's probably a good idea in between the 7:30 and 8 o'clock hour, because people start coming in.
All right.
Is that good? Mm-hmm. And who will be joining us? Is it just us? Is it us three? I will
I think
be.
it's 53, because I'm working on Saturday.
And we've got quite a few people from NIPSCO. We're all teaming
Oh,
up,
good.
and we're doing this together. Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be good.
Okay. Laura, any gardening tips? Just to throw you in there.
Tis the season. I have had a lot of people come into the garden center and they're concerned about their broadleaf evergreens. And a lot of this winter really took a wicking after them. I think I mentioned it at the last meeting that can happen, and there's winter injury that comes, and there's some other funky things going on out there. But one thing to consider is starting to get any, like a slow release fertilizer, nothing too synthetic or something organic that can release with the temperature. You can go ahead on that and get that going, and that will help with the pushback. But do keep in mind that a lot of those are still alive, and they just maybe are going to be losing their leaves or need to be trimmed within a couple of weeks, and then they'll really start to push out that new growth. The fertilizing will really help that. And again, we talked about in the winter, which will come up in winter again, protecting them, whether it's burlap and stakes when it comes to an area which is really broad open, or there's a product called Wilt Stop that protects them as well. So sometimes there's no getting around it. It was a wicked winter. And it wasn't even in regards to the snow. There was actually not a lot of snow protection. So there was even interesting things like English ivy, which is super hardy, that just got burnt out. Again, though, that life, I'm seeing it in there. You're pruning it back. You see a little bit of green. There's hope. And we're just getting started, even if we're really ready to be a lot further than we are. So keep that in mind. Great time to fertilize. Great time to get in your systemic insecticides, or there's awesome deer repellents out if that is an issue. But fertilizing, again, will really help your plants and make them less susceptible to getting a lot of the insect and fungal issues as well that are out there. In regards to trimming and pruning of evergreens, this is one thing, like I always say, be a little careful. Wait a couple more weeks, usually after you do your evergreen pruning. They push out this new growth, and it's really tender to the frosts that are still kind of hovering around us. And so keep it in mind. I usually wait until a little closer to the middle of May. You may find that it won't be affected if you already did it and it pushes out, but there is that concern. And so people will have that happen, and they'll see little brown tips and things like that. And that's often why that tender growth just got burnt. You just trim it off again, push that fertilizer, everything will be okay. So just wanted to kind of side note any of those things. Anybody else have anything in particular? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty. Well, just a side note here. Adam Garza did resign, so we currently don't have a forester right now. I am trying to keep up with the flow from the superintendent as items do come up. So we'll just kind of go through the list here, and if anybody knows of anything here, we can kind of go ahead and talk about it. The city park trees. Anybody heard anything about that? Alrighty. Nothing at the golf courses? Here are golf course years.
It's rained. I haven't even been out to the golf course yet. Yeah. I'm kind of supposed to tomorrow, but it's rained. So, yeah.
The city street trees.
Does anybody know anything about the plan for spending that $50,000?
I have tried, and 4 times I have emailed the superintendent.
Sonder?
Yes, on the Grand Beach road issue. I have not heard anything back. I need to talk with him, and I've been very, very nice about it. I don't know, I don't want to go stepping on toes if I don't have to, but the board, please tell me how far should I be nice before I start getting a little rotten. And I have, when Bob has called us looking for information, I have been right on target getting it out to him. I'm kind of, other than CCing the mayor.
You didn't CC in the mail.
I have not yet.
Why not?
I think it.
Yeah. That's still being nice.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking for direction. I'm
would
not
be
trying
nice.
to burn bridges with people.
No,
but
just keep being nice, but CC the mayor.
all right. Because
Have you been emailing or
I
did you
have-
call as well?
you call, they
Yeah.
don't call you back.
I think I would accidentally run into Craig Phillips.
There you go.
But Craig is. I mean, he's not the one down and dirty.
No.
He's just
no.
the one that's.
But you would nicely
I have a,
say, you know what, we just not real sure what's going on here. I just was wondering if I'm contacting the right people.
I have a meeting next week with them, so
Yeah.
I'll talk with him about it. If you want me to talk with him about it.
Yeah.
If we can, but Craig he's the one, the writer of this stuff. I still, I have kind of put out the idea and how the manpower and machinery wise to get the job done. As it is a problem. I try to rectify the problem with some type of talking ideas. I think they are still picking up some leaves, but I think the leaves are just about over with. So that's where we're at right now, and we got to do something about it because it's starting to get to be. I'm surprised there's not 3 more letters here like this about that problem. So,
There's plenty of people who haven't bothered to write the letters, though.
Yeah.
shouldn't be on my side of the street.
So
The butt's starting to hurt. The pins are hurting.
for clarity, though, that money is sitting there.
Well, I would like to find out, because,
Is that how that?
well, we had big ideas about talking to Woodruff and getting that there, but
Right.
since Adam has resigned, then I don't know where the idea has gone. Are we going to go back and just buy them on the open market?
The trees out there.
Yeah, because I know he was looking, but it's still safe to say that they can still dig trees right now because we've had such a unique spring so far, let's say.
But it's going to get more and more concerning by the time that the decision is made, where it won't be.
Yes. So,
Well, isn't that just a matter of a couple phone calls? I mean, no, I understand.
Not as much. There's definitely bigger planning that has to be done before any of that is moved forward on. There needs to be proper planning on it. So it's going to take a little bit longer.
I mean, this is where.
We're missing out on the trees.
Yeah.
That's what I would make a phone call.
See, I don't know where a lot of things are, and I would like to have a sit down with Bob and find out where we are in this and express some other issues. We were talking about it before the meeting opened up that the forester it's a 50-50 deal split between vector control. And what I am seeing that there's very little forestry going on. It's more vector control stuff going on. It has to be understood that the monies and how this is going. If it's going to be 50-50, then it should be 50-50. It's not just one-sided. So, and I know was the cause of one person resigning. I don't know what has transpired with Adam. I don't think we'll ever know, but it's really not for us to know anyway. So,
I'd like to say anything. I think a major issue is between a forester and somebody that does tree work. There's apples and oranges. There's a
yes,
big difference here. The forester is not going to be able to know how to do the tree work, or do anything like that. Adam would come to me and he'd be like, "Yo, well, what should we do?" And I'm like, "Well, we do this, this, and this, and this." And so it's really a waste of his time for him to come and even talk to me. He could be doing other things when someone like me could be doing that type of thing.
Yes.
It's a big difference. Just because it's, like I said, it's apples and oranges. Just because you make wigs doesn't mean you know how to cut hair. So it's just a lot different.
Yeah.
So I think that would be something that needs to be addressed. And Bob has heard about the idea too of maybe bringing in the own city tree service. So that would help out a lot.
Definitely, it's definitely stretched thin, and there's not enough manpower to cover everything that position is supposed to.
Yeah.
Correct.
Bob should be talking to us. I mean, if you have obviously you sound like you've been talking to him.
I didn't say that. I talked to people.
Well, it's been a conversation around, I think, is what's going on. And so
Bob should be kind of a conversation with us before he goes and has conversations around, because I have been waiting for that conversation.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys do. That's what you guys do. I don't know.
So, there has to be something done here, and it's
that he wouldn't allow you to do those trees out there that you were getting ready to do or something.
Well, I have offered my services as the tree board president to have them down. I just need to have the machinery and the right, with the union guys, they're all, once they're certified to be trained saw safety and all this other kind of baloney, which is union mandated. We got to get everybody there on the right.
That's what I was saying. You need a tree service. You don't. I mean, like you said, you were gung ho about it, but that's why I said it's just not that easy to just go.
Well, fortunately, we can't have just
with all the things that you need in order to get that done. It's not like I said, you can't just go in there and take a chainsaw and just whack everything out. You need machinery to pick it up. You need knowledge to know how to do it.
That's why we have a round robin. The guys who come in, because we have to be fair. The guys are paying $250 for a permit to work here, and they have to give an even chance. So that's why it's a round robin when stuff comes. One day it's you, one day it's one of the other guys. Our biggest thing here is to try to get everybody up to snuff with their insurance paperwork, and that seems to be a problem in itself. A lot of guys out there skirting the issues, and that's not going to be tolerated anymore. And that's not just from here. That's the city cannot do business unless you have all the proper.
Oh, I wish they would hurry up and start cracking down, because believe me, I see plenty out there in their pickup trucks with no insurance, while other people pay lots and lots of insurance. Yeah. It's very expensive to even start to work.
Yes, it is.
Well, all you have to do is just call. Well, you're supposed to call Adam, but when you see those, and I know you and I know who those people are.
Yeah.
I mean, I see them a mile away, and I don't have a problem calling.
It's just dangerous. On top of that,
very dangerous. This is dangerous. And now, like out in Carwick, I went out there. You guys are clearing some stuff out. I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad, but you guys had guys out there that didn't know what they were doing. I'm not you guys, but they had.
This was the area. I didn't know about this project. This was over there by Trail Creek. By the school out there at Carwick, at Honkerhorn Bridge over there. I heard there was some stuff going on over there. I don't know what this project involved. Never came before us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a DNR type of a project.
Yeah, I don't know. It was,
it sounded like a DNR, because DNR is responsible for all that had cleanup in there.
Well, it was city guys out there, you know, doing stuff, and you know, they had chainsaws caught in trees. They couldn't even the chainsaw. There was nobody there. I'm like, look, there's a chainsaw stuck in that tree.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what are they doing? They better.
Scary.
Somebody's getting ready to get. You know, you get hurt. There's a lot of weight.
Yes, you can.
That's a lot of stuff. You know. I mean, so they just.
Well, that's why we had to sit down and talk with the superintendent. Obviously,
There's got to be a better way to approach making sure it's all done right, and who's out there is doing it right, and
the city would push more for that. You know, it's.
they've got to crack down on it,
Yeah.
or it's not going to change.
No, and they can't have people doing, you know, if that's not your job, you know, if you don't, you know, you can't just pick up, you know, you can't just go grab a chainsaw and start cutting on stuff. You don't know
These
what
were
you're
city
doing.
employees?
They were city people out there. I don't know. There were city people out there running the machines and running some stuff like that. I don't know who was cutting, but, you know, they said, you know, they had called us out there because of the fact that, you know, they were lost. They were like, oh, we started it, but, you know, once, you know, if it's leaning this way, they can cut it and drop it down. But, you know, once it starts doing something or going straight up in the air, then that's when it's, you know, gets tricky. That's where the experience comes in, you know, and all the knowledge and the machine and the equipment and just, you know, how to do everything. So.
all right. Well, obviously, this is getting a little more out of control than I heard about this.
I didn't know about that.
I just heard about it last week.
Okay.
So I haven't had a chance to investigate it. I guess we're worried about my little problem. But okay. I'll put that on my... Let's see. Okay.
Just need a knowledgeable staff that knows how to do tree work.
Yeah,
That's what they're gonna do.
exactly.
Simple as
That's
that.
what needs to happen across the board, and I think it's going to even help the forestry position 100%. It was a lot of pressure that was put on the last couple.
They've been...
Without.
Definitely. And like you said, the forestry and the tree service, it's not, they're totally different. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing tree work, you know, I'm 44. And
Yeah.
when my whole life, you know, my dad's been doing it here since, you know, 1970s.
Yeah.
So he's got 50 years of working here in Michigan City. So, I mean, the experiences, you know, we're full of that. You know, we've been doing it. We A+ rated, you know, Better Business Bureau, no accidents, no insurance claims, no injuries, no, you know, none of that stuff. So, I don't want to talk down on other people, but yeah, other people don't, other people can't say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you tell us who you are?
I'm Danny Loggins.
Thank you.
Okay, we were wondering.
Couldn't remember if you introduced yourself last meeting or not. I know I couldn't
Well,
remember.
I
Yeah.
thought that's who it was, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, sorry.
The city, when they're hiring this position here, they're not taking in the forester, you know, grading. They hired Adam was more of an environmental engineer, and I think Andrew was Amanda was also an environmental engineer. You know, we did put the criteria to Adam that he needed to get down in the books and start figuring out and get an arborist certificate within the year of his.
But that even being said, everything that was on their list is way too much. They're spread too thin. They should be using their knowledge out there and should 100%. But it's spread too thin because they're also in charge of basically managing all of the rest of it too. So that's a lot. It needs to be split.
You know, there are foresters out there, and they are graduating foresters, you know, yearly. But with everything, I mean, 20 years ago, a forester really only got you $40,000 if you were lucky. You know, these days, with the paradigm shift into environmental stuff here, the foresters are probably getting more like 60,000 plus benefits a year, and that's probably right on target. But the city is not willing to pay $60,000.
Well, no,
So-
I mean, it's you know, like I said, the forester is a needed position, but you know, I'm not for sure, you know, how much it's needed actually in the city. You know, the city has some plans about, I mean, most of the plants and most of the trees here are grown. You know, you got a couple that we need to go around and plant and things like that. But you know, you got more that you need service done to them, you know. So I don't know, but yeah.
Well,
which is taking the biggest chunk of the time.
Yeah,
Which is the
he's
biggest.
doing that, and
Yep.
so he's like,
Yep.
he don't have no time to do any planning
Yeah.
or do any.
Which it takes a lot more than just looking at a tree or looking at an area and saying, hey, especially with everything to cover.
Yeah,
in
no, that would
cities.
be like more something that you would actually be, I believe, would,
Yes.
be more
Yeah.
an expert at that, because you know exactly how the plants go, the trees, and where to plant them, and how the grass and, the dirt's going and everything like that. And so.
So what they really need is maybe to position somebody to take care of all the rest of it and have somebody maybe consult on the other end of things. I don't know. There's a couple ways of looking at it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when we had, what was before? Amanda? Frank.
Frank.
Frank really, he was an actual true forestry degree, and he was really able to. He got a lot of grants. He knew how to work it.
He did a great job.
He did a very good job.
But he
at it.
also had the rest of it covered by somebody else at that time.
There was
Right.
vector control.
And there was
It was
great
success.
strides
Successful.
at that there. I think as a tree board ourselves that we should actually look into some kind of criteria that this position, some basic things that this position needs to be had, not just an environmental person coming into it. I think we have to relook at that. I have to talk to Bob about that. That I think they should be putting more emphasis on the forestry degree person
The job description.
than a person to do vector control, which is cutting grass and chasing rats.
Yeah.
So, but that's not all they do. I'm just being facetious there.
Yeah.
But then maybe subcontract out all of the tree.
Well, we tried that. That was done a long time ago, and I even tried to throw my hat in the ring at that point in time. But that was not where the city wanted to go. And in the city, they wanted to actually have a forested position. That's where Frank came in. And we had a couple of other little guys in the way, but Frank was the one who took the reins and actually did something.
And when you subcontract all your work out, you're paying a lot of money. The city loses a lot of money when they pay out all these companies to go do this. And the city had its own little.
Well, Frank at that time
and it goes
had
back
that.
to the vector. Yeah.
He knew how
He
to
had
trim,
that.
and he could actually. We had a bucket truck back then that he could trim out of, hitting the little things here and there.
The bigger
And
job should be.
the bigger jobs were contracted out.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things to discuss right there. All right. Well, I appreciate, Danny, your input.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, I've lived here my whole life, so I like to see it work perfectly too.
All right, planning department, I haven't heard anything that affects us. Urban forest management plan, don't know anything about that. Tree city designation. Debbie, I'm sure that usually comes in around now. Have you seen anything coming around?
I can check.
If we could please check. Find out where that stuff is. It'd be nice to put it out on the wares for Saturday if possible. Or if you find out if it's somewhere I can go get it, I'm happy to go get it. Don't feel free. Just see if you can I'll lay the eyes on it if we can find where they're at. that stuff should have been here by now.
Yeah, it usually is.
It
just in
usually
time
is.
for it all. So
Yes.
I have the old banners, but I know. I think they say the old years on them.
Alrighty. Goals, fundraising efforts. The Arbor Day will kind of get some fundraising going there.
I have been looking into a couple of situations with some fundraising possibilities that would benefit us, the most with our effort and so forth. So I did want you to know that. My question is, though, we did the fundraising, and basically, the money's still sitting there. So my question is, what is our purpose and goal in doing fundraisers? I mean, is it just something we want to do to have money in the bank in case we need it? Or are we specifically going to, at some point, decide on, they say, a yearly project or something like that? That's my question when I start looking into fundraisers as to, we're putting effort into something for what? Just
Exactly. Well, and we originally talked about that original fundraiser that we did. We specifically said that we wanted to donate a tree to like a non-for-profit organization, and we have to choose that. So that was that goal of that year, and it could be, like you said, that we have to focus on whatever that will be and whatever our goal is in regards to each year. We can change it or just make sure it's a once-a-year project, but then we need to kind of move forward on that if that's the case.
Well, I'm not real sure everybody was happy with that goal. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe we should take some time and put some real thought into if there's a specific project that we all really like the idea of, and then work towards that goal. I think it's easier to get people to work and to, participate in
we
it.
Choose a specific spot or park, for instance.
Something. But I would like maybe everybody to start sort of thinking about that. This is spring, and possibly by fall we could have something that we're all in agreement on that would be a specific fundraiser for the tree board.
Are you guys against Johnny's project, putting towards that? Since
I
that's
love
like a
Johnny's project.
And it's such a local, it's zoo associated, it's for the kids to be educated. I think it's the perfect thing to focus on.
Well, that's my idea.
Yeah.
Great. That's what I'm thinking too, that,
Perfect.
it's, Johnny's project is basically something that really everybody, I think, would enjoy, either the kids or the parents or whatever. The zoo, of course, would benefit from it.
It's exactly what we're here for.
That was my idea. I thought, maybe we should specifically do a project, and I would prefer Johnny's project, of course, but to focus on that, and then that way we could actually tell people what we're doing and why you would be buying something. It's going for this. It's just much easier to work on one project.
I totally agree. It's exciting and motivating, and there's a design that he's going to have completed this year, and so I think that's a really good focus when people see visually what they're looking to invest in. Then that'll help. There might even be people that want to donate to his thing in particular.
Well,
but when it comes to fundraisers and stuff like that, it's a good focus.
I've had an opportunity to talk with him too, at different times, and it's just really a nice project. I mean, it's a nice hometown city project.
It is.
I think, and so that's what prompted me to bring this up tonight, because I thought, we can have fundraisers, but if it's just to put the money in the bank, that's not, too much.
It's great to have a goal to work towards.
Right, I think
and to see that wicked away at, and I really love that idea.
I do
That's
too.
Great.
I do. So, just think about it, see what...
What do you guys think?
Come up with a better idea.
Well, I know it's Johnny's project, and we're looking for projects, so...
It's perfect. It
Did Carrie say it wasn't a good idea?
Well, she had some concerns, but I think Johnny did hear her concerns.
As I recall, maybe I'm wrong, she was talking about applying for grants and what grant.
Well, she said public safety and insurance.
Because of fruit trees and all that might be an issue with something like that, but there may have to be some alterations made.
Water. Issues and all that.
But my understanding, and I'm sure you've talked to Johnny too, is so my understanding is that's not really a huge amount of money for what he's trying to start out with. I mean,
it's a smaller spot, so it's not. I mean, whenever you're doing a project like that, with what he's looking to do. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of a chunk, but it's not anything grand that is not approachable at all.
No.
In fact, it can be phased out, starting with the back of it and then the leading entrance and different things like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that meeting when Carrie was here, so I will re-review those notes again because that was quite a bit ago, and just see where she was having concerns, because respectfully, when it does come to edible things, if you have to do any applications to keep up with those things, which is one thing I did bring up, you have to keep that stuff in mind, and water, because it is a unique
Soil samples and everything we should take.
especially if anybody is actually eating.
Yeah.
But if we're doing it as we're harvesting it for the zoo,
Right.
that's where I was unsure, because then the things don't need to be treated at all, because they don't care if they're naturally
Buggy.
Go
ahead,
apples, maybe we don't want to eat it and stuff like that, but and then there are natural ways, but all of those things do come into play. It's very important to bring up.
When Carrie was here, her whole thing was just, since it was grant based, that brought in, because it was for animals. It didn't have a population built into it, and then the conversation shifted as to neighborhood gardening plots too, and then it kind of shifted to here were vegetables, fruits, and vegetables, and here comes bees, and the kids get stung and have a anaphylactic shock, and it was going this way instead of going that way again. But with donated money, we can start going back down that street again.
Right, and we can still focus, but it's those bees, all those natural things are going to come up with anything that we do in regards to educational outdoors. That is very true. But if we focus on the community garden and have it be harvested for the animals, that gets away from a lot of the edible, the treatment, that kind of stuff. Because we could say, do not eat,
Right.
But those are all, you have to be consulted to keep in mind with all that kind of stuff.
Well, and maybe in her position, I'm sure she's thinking way, way, way ahead,
and
we are. Yeah,
you have to.
But my thought was maybe we got ahead of ourselves there too, because I know Johnny. He's pretty simplistic in what he's wanting to do, and I think she got way, way ahead. In the process of we're going to do this and this, But it's just a matter of getting him started, I think, and then progressing from there. Hopefully, we can take on that project and maybe do it for years. I mean, it would be a nice.
And then
thing.
actually, I was going to finish the design, and to be honest, it's probably good that Carrie went above and beyond with thinking about those things, because that's what I'm doing in the design, because you're wanting to bring in have it really be approachable in many ways and successful and pull, for everybody to be involved in it, because that's what it's about. But truthfully, it can be simplified, and that bringing all those things into mind. So.
Well, I think it's good to have a really long-term plan. I understand that, but I think
a couple apple trees to start.
You can do it in stages. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have to get it started first.
Yeah. No, but I think it's a great idea to focus on that. I love that.
Think about it. I mean, that was my thought. And
I love that. Yeah. It's community. It's education that this is what we're all about. It's education of all of that as well, and support to the city growth. It's all about that. So that's great.
And there's tremendous fundraisers for something like that. We can do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I think that's where we should go there to fundraise for that.
Right, that's right.
We're not going to, the grant, the way, there was just too many hurdles.
Well, too many guidelines. I think fundraising for something like that is more fun too.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about all those strings attached, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
Okay, I'm done.
Sounds great.
Old business. Still haven't. I didn't have a chance to follow up with the lawyer on the workman's comp.
I didn't either, and I said I didn't either. I'm so sorry. Did all the rest though.
The application for planting trees in the tree line.
Well, we got it done, but we were trying to put it in front of Adam, and then
Did it?
Okay, well, we're gonna have to table that for a while. Okay.
Can we move forward any other way with it, or?
Well, we can move forward with it. It just, as long as let's get a hard copy,
Yeah.
and then we can kind of
Most of it, yeah.
read through it for next meeting, and that will just how the next person's gonna have to deal with it. Okay. New business. Any new business? Okay, I think we kind of talked about all kinds of.
I was looking over the website, the tree board page, and there's something on there. One of the links is 11 years old, and it lists trees that are currently on our undesirable list.
So it hasn't been updated that much?
No, so that needs to come off, and I don't know if I can just like write them here or if something needs to come from the tree board.
Who's in charge of doing web pages
You
for
are
us?
represented.
Who's the entity?
Catalyst.
Catalyst. Okay.
Who do I talk to?
If you tell me what you need, I can contact you.
Okay, I will email
There's
you.
something
So I'll
to
get the
replace
details.
it with. I need that.
Well, it needs to be removed. I think we have a lot of things on there that kind of overlap with it.
But Amanda had a list that we did.
Yeah, we
Approved.
have the list.
Yeah.
The lists
She's
are
saying the other
on
ones
there.
on there too.
But there's a lot of stuff that's been on there probably since we started having a tree board.
Which
And
is
it's still the,
Let's
which
give
is
that
what
list
came
to
up when
Deb.
we were doing this
Let's
application.
give a copy of that list to Deb so she can at least get going on that.
I don't have a copy with me, but I will email you. Yeah. And I'll email everybody so you can all see what it is.
Yeah, I didn't even see that, and we've had a lot of things came up when we were doing the application. Yeah, so we'll just move that out.
Okay. No more new business. Board member comments.
Looking forward to seeing everybody at the farmers market for the free trees.
if I get done early enough from work, I'll stop down there.
Sounds good. I'll be there myself until noon, but then after that I have to head back to work. It's busy at the garden center right now. But they will, NIPSCO will be bringing all that stuff back to Beachside. They have trucks to do it. We'll just bring it there in the morning.
Public comments. Danny, anything?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you.
your,
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
we are on the same page, yes.
Next meeting date, June 5th. Anybody have any issues with June 5th? Okay. I'm hearing any. Well, next meeting day will be June 5th. And I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Everybody in favor?
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.